Well, today I have one of the more unusual, actually, it probably is the most unusual watch I've ever had in for a video. The Blue Planet from CIGA Design has an unusual case design, also a very unusual way of giving us the time. I'm going to try to stop now using the word unusual, but it's such a unique watch. And the fact that they pulled off this very novel but well executed design has ended up with them winning quite a major award in the watch world. Now, although this watch isn't something I would normally go for or wear all that often, these watches like this that are so far from the norm are some of the most fun for me to cover on the channel. Full disclosure, this watch was gifted to the channel for free from CIGA Design. They have no say in the content of today's video, but I just want to be fully transparent with you guys. So let's get straight to it and take a look at the watch. Now, I gotta say, there is a lot to take in here. Straight away, I'm sure you can see where the watch gets its name, the Blue Planet, but there's a lot of questions you might have, like, for example, how in the world, pun intended, do you tell the time with this thing? I'll get to that, but I will say one aspect of getting the time is easy. There's another that makes it not so easy. I think what we should maybe start off with, though, is just how this shows up when you get one. I thought it was kind of cool. So I'm going to put this back in the package and we'll do a quick sort of unboxing. So here is what shows up in the mail when you get the watch. Pretty standard issue, branded cardboard box. I wasn't expecting something quite so flat, but inside is what looks like a book and well protected with the foam here on either side. Just get rid of that, and this. So here is the watch box. This is actually the outer sleeve. We've got that really nice metallic blue. Get rid of that. Also, there is the logo for the award that CIGA Design had won, and talk more on that soon. We have the inner box. I'm not going to go through everything here, but I'll try to get it in focus and in frame enough that you could maybe pause and give this stuff a read. Pretty cool. You can see the watch dial through the little hole on this section. I'm going to flip to the back for a minute, and we have instructions. Good to have, especially with a watch that's so unique like this. Although the watch is quite intuitive to use. The last page has CIGA Design warranty card, some information on the company, and also some information on the designer of the watch. Back to the center, and we have the watch itself. We also have the quick release rubber strap, so it's very easy to install on your own. Some specifications on the watch. I just thought this was something a little different and kind of fun and kind of deserving of a watch that's so different too. One last thing to talk about before we get to the nitty gritty of the watch itself is the award. This watch won the challenge category in the 2021 Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève. This category is for best watch under 3,500 Swiss francs. They were up against the likes of Anordain, Doxa, Messina Lab, Ferlin Marie, and Oris, and came out on top. And that was actually the first win for a Chinese-based brand for the GPHG. I've never really followed the GPHG that closely, to be honest, but it seems like quite an achievement. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room here, and that is the watch. And we should probably talk about how this thing works, first of all. So on the globe, there is a compass rose. It is pointing towards the 9 rate at the moment. That is both your hour and minute hand at the same time. There's an outer fixed ring that is the hours, and then the inner ring shows us the minutes, and that will make one complete rotation per hour. So to read the time, that compass rose is always pointing to the minute and the hour. It is currently set to right around 2:30, but let's advance the time so you can see how this works. And we will advance that until 3 o'clock. So we have the compass rose pointing at the 3 and the 0, 0. We'll go ahead 15 minutes, and we're at 3:15. 3:35. And let's just advance it to 4 o'clock here. It's quite intuitive as far as time telling, but I will say in real world conditions, it's not very legible at all. The markers on the minute and hour ring are very small. In the right lighting, the metallic markers catch the light and help, but they can also blend into the black rings if they aren't reflecting light, making the watch very tricky to read. From a distance, you can get a ballpark with where the compass rose is, but getting accurate time at a quick glance is almost impossible. So, although time telling isn't the best with this watch, I look at it as more of a novelty. It's a fun and interesting watch. I can say it's definitely a great conversation piece, as everyone I've shown it to has been quite impressed with it. The watch is made using titanium. It's quite large, so the titanium helps keep the weight down. The case is really well finished. It's completely brushed, and the brushwork is so fine, it almost has a matte bead blasted look. Kind of a cool crown design happening there too, with how they've done the knurling. Now, one negative is the crown does have a ghost date position. Winding action, on the other hand, is good, and it is very smooth to operate when adjusting the time. The sapphire crystal, interestingly, follows the curvature of the case, and surprisingly, so does the case back, which is sunken into the case. Even the crystal on the case back is curved, which I don't believe I've ever seen on a watch. Now, there's a couple things with this movement. It's a 35 joule movement beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour and with a power reserve of approximately 40 hours. It's a modified movement, likely an ETA or Solida or possibly a clone of one of those, but the modifications they've made are patent pending, so at this point they haven't released much information on the movement yet. It's nicely decorated, but unfortunately, it is slightly obscured by the printing on the underside of the crystal. Back to the dial again, and the detail work on the globe area looks great. The blue has a metallic finish. Then the land masses, which are micro engraved, have a foil coating. If I'm reading correctly from the press release they sent me, it seems like it's applied similarly to gold leaf. Either way, it's quite the eye-catching end result. The strap that comes with the watch is made with FKM rubber. Compared to silicone straps, it's resistant to higher temperatures and chemicals. It's a dense material, but at the same time soft to the touch and comfortable to wear. The best thing about it is they don't tend to attract dust like some other rubber straps can. There are two keepers. The first is a floating, and then the second keeper is held in place by the notches on either side of the strap. The buckle is made with titanium and signed CIGA Design. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of 45.8 millimeters, so quite a large watch. It's a lugless design, but the measurement from where the straps meet the case comes in at only 30.5 millimeters, and you can see the straps do drape straight down. Thickness on the watch is 15.3 millimeters, and the lug opening is 22 millimeters. The crystal is a double-domed sapphire crystal with an anti-reflective coating. Water resistance on the watch is 30 meters. I wish it was a little higher than that, although I don't really imagine wearing a watch like this in a situation I'd need a higher water resistance. On wrist, the watch wears very comfortably considering the size. The combination of the titanium case and the strap material definitely helps with that. Now, These are limited to 365 pieces. They will be available sometime March, and the best bet to purchase one is to sign up to their newsletter to keep up to date on the release. Cost on these will be 1,000 USD, and I have a feeling they're going to sell out very fast. So, final thoughts on the watch are a little mixed for me. I just don't see wearing a watch like this all that often. Although, with it being such an interesting watch, I could see wearing this to watch enthusiast get togethers. I always like seeing some of the more unique watches in people's collections, and I think this would be a great watch to have for events like that. If you get one, it's definitely a fun watch to have in the collection for sure, but it's more on the novelty side of things than a lot of watches. I wish I had a little more information on the movement, but maybe if that becomes more transparent, I'll do a follow-up video. So that is it for today. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.